It's 5 o'clock Mountain Time in beautiful Bozeman, Montana, and today we've got to talk about Chinese troops in Cuba. Oh man, what do you think, Shane?
Well,
Shane's
it's
Shane's in Canada, by the way, for those of you just joining us. So
it, it's such a remarkable thing. I mean, it's not just that Cuba has so much to do with your history, which of course it does. I mean, you go back to the Rough Riders with. Uh,
Teddy,
I'm sorry.
Teddy,
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt. He
yeah,
was the police commissioner of New
San
York,
Juan Hill,
governor of New York. Then he rode up
yeah,
San Juan Hill and ended up president.
yeah,
Anyway,
that's how you do
first
it.
by mistake, and then but got
Yeah,
elected. But anyway,
yeah, I
having
know.
said that, Cuba, and then you had the whole missile crisis, and goes back to the beginning of your country with the Monroe Doctrine,
Yeah,
that no surreptitious country should be allowed in the northern hemisphere. And here you go, China bounces into Cuba and takes over the Moscow embassy.
yeah. Here we are. Well, we got to talk a little bit about China because there's a lot of misinformation about China. We've talked about it endlessly on here, Shane. That they're not the superpower they pretend to be. They're building ghost cities just to keep their people working, and they've got
That's
an
right.
aging population. Their two-child policy isn't working. They're they'll lose half their population probably by 2060. So, they're not a superpower that they pretend to be.
No, not at all. They keep talking about the bobbleheads that are on
Hmm.
TV, that they've got the biggest navy in the world. No, they have the largest number of gunboats in the world.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what they're misleading the public about. Number
yeah.
two, Taiwan. If they even so much as point in the direction of Taiwan, the president of the United
Hmm.
States should say, "Okay, our China one policy is over with now, and we recognize Taiwan as an independent country." I think that's how you end that. That's what you say to
Hmm.
Xi. And
Hmm.
when you look at the demographics, you mentioned their population of over 50% of
Hmm.
people in China over 65. So there'll be less than
Hmm.
500 million in China by the end of this century. Their economy has not bounced back. Terrible
No.
numbers this last week. They had to drop the interest rate, on
Yeah.
their own dollar, which doesn't mean anything because it's all owned by the
20%
military,
unemployment. I mean,
and they have
they're
unemployment. And
yeah,
the ghost
they're
cities are really important to mention because now they're tearing them down and rebuilding them
yeah,
because A, no one wants to buy them. B, no
yeah,
one wants to move to them because they're out in areas of the
yeah.
country no one wants to live, and no one wants
Hmm.
to risk the money that they want to spend. And the most
Hmm.
important thing is, in the last 20 years, they wanted to create a consumer market. They would, like the
Yeah,
U.S. did in the 50s and 60s. Hasn't happened. Chinese are
no,
not buying their own products, so
yeah,
the this is like a battle in Normandy where someone changed the arrow on the roadway.
yeah.
Someone's changed the arrow on China and it's going the wrong way.
Yeah, it is. Well, China's trying, they're trying to make inroads into Africa. They're trying to make inroads into, third world countries because they know the minerals are there that they need to, if we're going to go into this new Green Deal crap, we're going to need a lot of materials that are in the United States, but nobody will let us mine them in the
That's
United
right.
States. That's the issue. You,
Yeah, especially rare earth minerals. I mean, people maybe forget that China is the fifth largest producer of oil in the world, and yet they have to import close to 5 million barrels a day.
yeah,
So, they have this incredible highway system, but no one's buying cars right now, and especially electric cars
yeah.
to drive on
So,
them, even in the cities. Beijing is one of the
yeah.
worst polluted cities in the world. You
Mhm.
remember New York a couple of weeks ago with smoke from
Yeah,
Canada? That
that's
that's a
every
good day in Beijing.
I was gonna
Beijing.
say, I
It's
remember
out
the
on a flat plain up against the mountains, the 30
I
million
remember the
people.
I remember the Olympics, watching the crew roll by, and you couldn't see the other side of the
No,
water, like this
that's right.
canal. And they banned 1 million cars from Beijing
No
during that
traffic during
time.
the games in the
Yeah,
city, and it still didn't clear it out because it's in a
yeah,
valley, so it just
yeah.
hangs there.
It's just
Yeah,
sitting there.
it's a regrettable thing because the country's moved so far from third world basically in
Yeah,
40 years to basically developing world. In some
mhm,
places, it's first world. I mean, you go to the big cities, Shanghai,
yeah,
Hong Kong, and along all the cities on the coast are as modern as any city in the world. They're brand new.
hmm, yeah. Well, China troops are headed to Cuba for training. They're going to put they've Uh, Cuba's not in good shape cash wise either, so China's going to pump some money in there with hosting Chinese spying and military activities 90 miles from the U.S. Shane, this is the Cuban Missile Crisis all over again.
It
Yeah.
becomes that, and for your uh, policy, your president's policy about not saying anything like, no, you can't go to China, or you can't go down to Cuba. No, we'll blockade the country if you do,
Well, he's not
and
saying that though.
we'll even cut in some more sanctions on Cuba if you do. But on the other side, my position is let China go spend their billions, trillions, whatever they want. We've seen this before. Japan tried it in the 80s and got their butt kicked. But boy, the Nike bounce back. It's now only taken, 50 years almost to get back to 36,000. It was at 87 because
Yeah,
after that crash and having to sell,
yeah,
you know, the Empire State Building and
yeah,
the golf course in California and so forth. Their market dropped to 16. It dropped 20,000 points.
yeah. You're going to have to learn to pronounce the that. It's not Nike. It's that's the shoe company.
The Nike,
Yeah, it's a
yes,
Nike or
people say it's Nike. I
Nicky or
know.
something. I don't know what the hell they call it, but it's not
Well,
Nike.
if
I
you go
know
to
that.
Japan, they pronounce it Nike.
Well, I don't know. Anyway,
Anyway,
all the talking heads. I'll have to look it up. We used to talk about it a lot, but we haven't talked about it in a long time. So, but anyway, yeah, the other thing, China could easily blockade Taiwan, and that would cause President uh, Biden to say, "Well, good for you, Taiwan's yours," or I guess he could try to do something about it. But
well, he has to. They own him. He's bought and owned. That's they and that's why she sent those bank statements to the House investigating him just to knock on the White House door and remind him who he works for.
who
He
he
works
works
for
for, huh?
China. Yeah,
Well, we'll find out, I
bought
guess.
and paid for.
Yeah. Well, they've flown planes close to us. They've sent boats in front of our boats, and they had all these close calls and everything. So I think China is just testing. Is this guy really the feeble old man he appears to be, or is somebody else going to call the shots for him? And that's the worry I have, Shane, is that somebody behind the scenes, regardless of what Biden says or Blinken says, there's somebody back there that's running the country. You know, I
Well,
don't know.
it's the generals. They can control all of the provinces, and they control the different parts of the Red Army in those
No, I'm
provinces.
talking
And
about the United States.
I realize that, and
Yeah, we
they're
know who's
also
running. We know who's running China.
well. I appreciate that, but the importance of it is it's a military view over there.
Yeah,
In our country, it's this transgender view. I mean, that's how extreme what people are talking about. One side's talking about war, the
yeah,
other one's talking about transgender people.
yeah. Bud Light.
Yeah, it's good stuff for talking about. It's great. It's good humor.
Uh, yeah, It's sad, Shane. The rest of the world laughing at us. I mean, they've got to be. I mean, in
I
Iran, they're
am.
going.
I mean,
Iran, they're.
I love the United States. I grew up there. I was educated there. I worked there. I made money there. I love you. I've been all over the United States. There's no there's no greater place in the world, or in the historical archives of the world. No place like it. Population,
Oh yeah.
economy, size. I mean, the whole shebang, baby.
Yeah. But when you're an embarrassment, when your president is an embarrassment on the world stage, that's got to be disheartening. And the fact that his party's propping him up to run again, I maybe something's going to happen between now and primary season. Maybe they can't run Kamala. I mean, they can't. I mean, that ain't going to work. And they don't want Kennedy Jr. anywhere near the White House. So
And
they're
they
in a
don't want
pickle.
Biden to resign.
Well, and who takes his place?
Camilla.
Well, yeah. Do you really think they want her?
That's why I said that they don't. That's why they won't let him resign. And
Well, I was going to say, yeah, they certainly don't want her. They don't want Kennedy because his agenda doesn't come anywhere close to matching theirs. So where do we go? Or where do the Democrats go there? And particularly, I mean, Xi's watching this, Putin's watching this. World leaders all over the place are watching this, and it's we've got a guy that can't find his way off the damn stage.
that's right. And I did think that Kennedy might. He's tabbing over 21. Biden's campaign's supposedly in gear. He's traveling, raising money, but he hasn't signed up to be in the Iowa or the New Hampshire primaries. So he's talking about going to North Carolina again. But I did a bit of research and read a lot of stuff about what Kennedy has had to say and about different topics. This guy's a nightmare for him if they pick him because
Well, yeah, that's why I say he's
yeah,
way off base with
he's
them.
way off base. Yeah,
He's an anti-vaxxer. He's an anti-war guy for sure. He wouldn't be going along with Taiwan or Ukraine at all. So I don't know, man. It's they've got a they've got a thing. Nancy says, "God save the Queen."
that's right.
Like our national guardian angel will intervene. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope there's somebody in
Yeah,
Washington that's got 2 cents of brain power working there because we sure don't see anybody right now that's working very hard. So, hey, if you like what you hear, don't forget to subscribe. Ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified no matter what time zone you're in. And like us. Leave a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about because we're guessing here. We're guessing what you want to hear and what you want us to talk about. So let us know what you think. So, right,
that's
Gene?
right. We're here on 2 days a week and on Saturday, which John will fill you in. And like
Yeah.
I say, you need to thumb a ride along
Yeah.
with us on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and all morning Saturday for 3 hours live.
That's
It's
for sure.
entertaining because there's
I
so
mean,
much
come
to
on.
talk about.
It's not like you got something else to do. Come on.
That's very kind of you, Tom. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. You might as well be with us because, I mean, you got no life probably. So,
That's right.
you got to be with us.
And you have to share it with your friends and family,
Oh, of
and
course. Yeah.
share the Facebook that Tom puts up to everybody,
Yeah.
and
YouTube and Twitter and
that's right.
LinkedIn. We're everywhere. Rumble.
We've had some pretty good home run hitters of shows in the last couple of weeks, so we're really
Yeah.
appreciative of the people that are taking the time to listen and see what we
Yeah.
have to say. And for a couple of
Mhm.
old guys, we're not doing too bad. We look pretty good.
Yeah. For our old age. Yeah. Well, blinking, blinking and nod. I guess went to China. What a fiasco that was.
Oh man,
Blinken looked like he was in the presence of a rock star. No body language of we're the most powerful nation on earth. Why, you know, for Chi to take an audience with us, how's that make sense? How do you?
well, Gate. I mean, the week before Gates and Musk, first Musk, and then or 2 weeks ago
Mhm.
Musk, and then a week ago
Yeah.
Gates visits, and they get the red carpet treatment. I mean, They spend time with Xing, and they talk about industry and what they're doing in China, and then along comes your Secretary of State, who basically, I think he was praying on the plane trip. Okay,
I
because
must have been. I don't know, man. He was.
I mean, I can't believe how many times they had to invite themselves to get there.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, we were going to go, but Nancy went to Taiwan, so we can't go now. So
Yeah.
we got to put it off 4 or 5 times. And why do we need to go to China? Why in the hell isn't he here? He should be
Well,
sucking up.
that's the whole
He
point.
should
Yeah.
be sucking up to us rather than us sucking up to him. I mean, we're just perpetuating his myth.
The illusion.
Well, it is. I mean, yeah, he's the guy behind the curtain
That's
that
right.
you don't want to look at. So, I mean, the generals are running him,
That's right.
and there we
The
go.
staff is
So,
running Biden.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We got two leaders that both have curtains with people behind them. That
Yeah, the only difference is she is in some temple somewhere, and Biden's in the White House with all these people, telling him what to do. So Biden sort of has to live with the sooth talkers or whatever,
yeah.
whatever you want to call
Yeah,
them.
I don't know what empty suits is what they are, but yeah, Biden's supposed to make 20 appearances before the end of June, Shane. I mean, it's already the 20th. He's got 10 days to make 20 appearances. Where? And how many flubs is that going to be? And where's he going to? I don't think he's going to appear anywhere on TV.
I would beg to suggest that I bet he falls down a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, Facebook doesn't like my political views and posts. Apparently, they can't handle the truth. You're right. Jack Nicholson he said quite adamantly, you can't handle the truth. And I agree with you, Ed. Facebook sucks. But
yeah, it's I tell you, I spend, just on a side, because you comment about Facebook, I spend a half an hour at least every day having to clear out my Facebook page of unwanted stuff, and it's just unbelievable.
It's a full-time job.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. I can't believe people. All they have to do is comment negatively about politics.
That's right.
Yeah.
I hate Biden.
I hate Trump.
The cover story. It's like Biden. He's sponsored, and everything on Facebook is sponsored. So they're sort of they're sharing the internet together.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see how this whole thing.
Now let's make a call on Taiwan here, because we were right about how Biden's son would. I mean, he's now a convicted felon because he's admitted to it, but he won't face any time.
Well, I don't think he's committed to a felony.
Yes, he has.
No, he hasn't. Not yet.
Yeah. Well, that's what the deal is.
Well, the gun thing is a felony, but he's confessed to something lesser.
Yeah, his income tax issue,
and
that locks up all of his records in Ukraine, China, Russia.
Yeah, right.
Kazakhstan, Hungary, Romania, wherever else.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this in more detail on Thursday, so I don't want to get into Biden today.
No,
in the deep weeds.
An important thing to talk about China. Yeah. I don't see China doing anything. I see them just using it as a hammer, and there's too big a risk on the downside for them now. They're in serious trouble, and they take a shot at Taiwan. They become the pirate. What is it? The Pyra or whatever that P word is.
Yeah, pariah.
That too.
I think
that eating fish. They become that eating fish.
Well, Blinken has reestablished the one China policy, so I would say it's a matter of time before Xi runs a blockade of Taiwan, and nobody's going to do anything about it.
Well, it's pretty big. It's pretty tough to let's just take a hypothetical. Okay, they take their gunboats and they put them around the island,
Yeah.
and then out of Taipei Harbor comes one of these giant tankers, container ships,
Yeah.
and loaded to bear with guns all around. I don't see him stopping that. That's pretty hard to get by. That's pretty hard to get in front of.
What are you talking about? Who's
China
sending guns? Who's sending guns?
Taiwan doesn't happen.
Who's sending guns?
Huh?
Who's sending guns on a freighter ship?
Taiwan would be, because they're a major trader with the world, with container ship.
They'll sink a freighter in a minute.
A container ship?
Sure.
Not if it's loaded with guns. If they fire on it, they'll fire back. So
so what? Then you got a war with who? I don't see that happening. If they don't already have the guns, they're in trouble.
Okay. Well, that's my call.
Well, they don't. I mean, no. I think he'll blockade that place, starve them out, and take over. Yeah.
All right then.
It's a small place. They got a small peninsula to defend, and the U.S. is not going to go in there. And if the U.S. doesn't go in and liberate Taiwan, who will? Nobody else is going to. Germany's not going to come to their aid. France isn't. Great Britain's not. Australia won't. It's us or Taiwan.
The only country that would probably take an interest possibly is Japan, but I don't see that happening.
Well, they don't have the military because of World War II restraints.
Well, it's a defense force. It's called a defense force.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They got a small defense force is all they're allowed to have. So
that's true.
Yeah, it's not good. So
crazy world there, big buddy.
It is. Well, on Thursday we're going to talk about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and probation and the crimes and everything. I think we could have done that today, but I think I'm going to wait a couple days because we know the initial news is always BS. It's somebody trying to be first, and we don't even know what the actual charges are. So we're going to wait a day or two.
Yeah, but we called it.
Talk about this on Thursday.
We'll do it Thursday and pat ourselves on the back because we called it.
Well, we did. Yeah, we just
a year ago.
Said,
2 years ago.
Hunter's not going to the Gray Bar Inn anytime soon, or was he ever going to go there? So I don't know. Nancy says Taiwan bought $19 million in war equipment from us. Did it ever get delivered? Well, yes. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they've got the updated jets, and they delivered them just 6.
Yeah, they got air defense systems too, I believe.
Yes, they did. Yeah. They've got an upgraded Patriot battery. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me remind you once again. Hey, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Always be notified when we're on, no matter what time zone you're in, no matter where you are in the world. And of course, don't forget that we're on radio every Saturday. And that's so easy to get to. It's almost a crime. Going across the bottom of the screen right now, Tom and Shane live on radio every Saturday, 8 to 11 Mountain Time. You can listen to us live anywhere in the world. KMMSAM.com. All you got to do is click listen now. There's no sign up. There's nothing to join. There's no club. We're not selling anything. We're just there doing what we're doing right now. So by all means, if you want to get a sample of our radio show, that's also at KMMSAM.com. Just click on Tom and Shane's podcast, and you can hear replays of our radio show on Saturdays. So we hope that you will try doing that and check us out. And of course, on YouTube, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So why not do it? Final thought, Shane?
Nothing more than we'll see you on Thursday.
All right. Well, that's a good thought. All right. Well, as I say, we'll be talking about Biden, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Donald Biden, all the Bidens on Thursday. We'll know more about these charges, and we'll certainly be there to find out what's going on. So, Linda, Joe said he's proud of his criminal son, like father, like son, I guess. So, all right, Linda, good for you.
Well, the nut doesn't fall far from the tree. Oh, chestnut.
Yeah.
Chestnut doesn't fall far.
Well, whatever it is.
Or the pine cone doesn't fall far from the tree.
That's it. I'm sure.
Or a branch doesn't fall far from a tree.
All right. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell, like us, leave a comment. And we want to thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you guys so much coming in, supporting us every Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday on the radio. So we will see you Thursday. More on Hunter Biden. Until then, we'll see you Thursday.